Hello everyone! In this episode, we will continue with our series of pronunciation videos meant to help you learn how to read specific sounds in Portuguese. Remember, we have already covered some tricky sounds like some diphthongs or the consonants S, R, and X. Make sure to check out my playlist, all dedicated to pronunciation. Today we will be talking about the letter H, H in Portuguese, which can be more challenging than it looks like, since it's completely muted when combined with a vowel, but when paired with some consonants, forms a new sound. I also wanted to give you an update on my book club. We have selected our March book, and as promised in this video, it's a book by José Saramago, the only Portuguese language writer that won a Nobel Prize. And to join the centenary celebrations, we chose O Conto da Ilha Desconhecida, which is considered a great introduction book to get started with Saramago's literature. It has 37 pages, so also a great size. If you are interested in reading and discussing the book with me, send me a message through my website. E agora, vamos começar! The letter H is basically a muted one. It has no sound, so you cannot associate a phoneme to it. Therefore, Portuguese words like hospital, hotel, horror, or humor are spelled exactly like English, but read like there is no H. The Portuguese language has no aspirated H sound, so these are pronounced hospital, hotel, horror, humor. How about when you want to express the opposite root word of some words beginning by H? Well, in Portuguese, we usually use the prefix des or in, and you have the opposite. Like in English, it's no different in Portuguese, but the H disappears. Words like honesto or habitável become desonesto and inabitável. So if H is muted, what's the need for it in the language? Does it have any use at all? Yes, it does. When combined with an L, a C, or an N, it forms a digram, a group of two letters that represent a single sound. These sounds are N, sh, and y, and form part of several everyday life Portuguese words that seem so hard to master in terms of pronunciation. I'll leave the link to my video about pronunciation and strategies to master some difficult sounds. Now let's check some examples. NH, the sound N, has an equivalent in French and Italian represented by the combination GN, and in Spanish represented by the letter N with a tilde. The most similar sound for this in English is the one you produce when you say the word onion. You combine this sound with a vowel or a diphthong to form syllables, as in unha, dinheiro, ninho, nenhum. You can practice this in front of the mirror. Make the middle part of your tongue touch the front of the roof of the mouth at the same time you make the whole front part of your tongue almost touch the back of your teeth. Now produce the sound, making it come from your nose, not your throat. Ny, ny. Here's a rhyme for you to practice in a fun way. A mãe está na cozinha a fazer bolo com açúcar e farinha. For the combination CH, the sound is sh, and this is not a difficult sound to pronounce for most people, as it exists in several languages. In English, it's the sound you find in the words sheet, shadow, or shy. You can also get this sound in Portuguese from the letter X in the beginning of a word, for example. For more about the letter X, check out our video. but the combination CH with a vowel or a diphthong is a very usual one too. CH instead of X depends on the root of the word. Here are some everyday words with this combination. O chá, a chave, a chuva, fechado, fecho, chouriço, chinelo. Here's another rhyme for you to practice. O bicho usa chapéu e tem chinelo que não é meu. Now we get to the one that is usually quite difficult for most people. If you struggle with the pronunciation of LH, L, know you are not alone in this journey. In fact, this is a challenging sound simply because it does not exist in English. It's similar to the double L in French and Spanish from Spain, but it forms a more liquid sound when pronounced in Portuguese. You combine this sound with a vowel or a diphthong to form syllables that you will find in everyday words such as filha, colher, palhinha, trabalho, silhueta. Don't forget that when you become a more intermediate student, you will use a lot the indirect complement lhe and lhes, meaning the word him, her, and them in place of the noun. In these cases, these come usually with a hyphen after the verb and blend quite a bit, making it hard to pronounce. Here are some examples. Dá-lhe, comprei-lhes. The strategy to make this sound is quite similar to the one I explained for the NH sound. Have the middle part of your tongue touch the front of the roof of the mouth. At the same time, you make the whole front part of your tongue almost touch the back of your teeth. Now, produce the sound, making it come from your throat, keeping in mind the liquid sound idea. Y, y. Here are two sentences for you to practice with. Eu vivo numa ilha, que é uma maravilha. A chuva faz uma bolha que brilha na folha. I hope you enjoyed today's video. Leave me a like and a comment. Share with me what words you struggle with. Até para a semana!